you everybody for coming. We are really happy that we're having this opportunity to give Walker the send-off that he should have. We really miss him, but we're happy for the new phase in your life. So I'm just going to say, I wrote a lot of stuff in a card to you, and you can read all of that.
That's right. That's a smart idea.
Out loud? I'm not going to read it out. I don't think. I'm just going to try and remember some of it. So, Ed and Ariel and I moved here a little more than 23 years ago in 1993. And we moved from New York. And I had just gotten admitted by comedy in North Carolina and got hired. Terry hired me at the General Assembly, and I thought at the time...
How do you spell comedy?
Obviously you don't know.
Exactly. This is not your part. Anyway, I didn't think I would be at the General Assembly very long. I thought that was just sort of a place to get to North Carolina to, and then I'd find something else and move on. And 23 years later, obviously that didn't work out very well. But one of the reasons
it worked out very well.
One of the reasons it didn't work is because I met Walker, who had started working at the General Assembly 6 months earlier. Actually, I had interviewed for the same job that he got. But Terry apparently liked me and invited me to come back while somebody was on maternity leave, actually, in '93. And Walker, having been there a few months before, we sort of like learned things at the same time, except he knew a whole lot more. He knew North.
He just acts like you.
I told you, Jim, when I grew up, I wanted to be like Walker. It's like he knew all this stuff. He knew all the. He helped me learn North Carolina law, which I didn't know any of, and he helped me learn a lot about North Carolina politics, which I didn't know any of, and he mostly taught me all the things in Cary. He showed me how to get around Cary. We bought a house here, but didn't know how to get anywhere. And Walker was my authority on all things North Carolinian when I first moved here, and taught me much of that. Taught me much of how to be a good lawyer at the General Assembly, and helped me acclimate to my new home. And then he even went further, and he befriended my husband and my daughter. He invited them to join his Indian princess tribe, and my husband went on to become the esteemed Big Mullah Mucky Mucky Chief of the world, Chief of the nation, all because of Walker. And he has truly been a dear and valued friend to me and to my family, which is why it was not even a thought to host this party for him. He has made our time here much happier and much easier than it might have been otherwise. And for all of the people in the research division, we know we have a new name now.
Yeah, but I don't know what it is yet.
The Legislative Analysis Division.
Oh!
I know.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry.
Legislative Analysis Division. For the new and old of us, we all just want to wish you the very best of everything, and especially in the next phase of your life. So, thank you very much.
Well, before you open it, let me say a word about it.
Yes.
Because we...
Always a library.
I was going to say.
She is going to catalog and classify.
We always have a last word.
Right.
Well, she's had a hard time with that.
I am such a librarian. And, you know, I would just like to add my love and my warmth to the words that Karen has shared. I mean, I was fortunate to go to college with Jan. We were at Wake Forest together,
And Jan's my sister, right?
Right. Jan, not that one. That's right. And I'm a little bit older than she is, but imagine my surprise when it turns out that at some point in my life, after Terry Sullivan, Walker Reagan becomes my boss, and Jan is working kind of across the street, and I really felt that I couldn't have been more fortunate to have come back into the circle of the Reagan world, and then to be privileged to meet your family, and you have such this wonderful, loving family. Of course, now there's Ezra. And trumps everybody. So when we thought about something to give you, of course, we thought about a gift card. We figured you'd spend it on Ezra. You're not really a pottery kind of guy. But we did want to give you something that really let you know that we have come to know you very well, and to show you that we really have become very attached to you, and wanted you to have something that was very personal from us. Yes. So that is what this represents. It is it's just our love and affection for you, and just we wish you well in this phase. I'm so glad. I just know I'm going to have all you people in my life forever. So yes, for you.
You want me to go ahead, Michael?
Please.
No, wait for later on.
You're with me.
That's all right.
It is somewhat
And how do you too?
Mine is on slow now.
I know.
It's
net now.
yeah, it's always been on slow. What are you doing?
Yep.
Jan, was
when Junior.
Christmas gifts growing up?
No, our father was.
what he does.
Turning into our father.
What do you think?
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. I see a blue devil on there. In a band.
That is really cool. Wow.
Let me get a
That is
picture of
What
Mama.
his memory is now. There you go.
Well, this is done by Colum Rogers.
Let me get a picture of Mama.
Yeah. Tell us what you see on there, Walker. I see a band and a blue devil.
Yeah, there's the Blue Devil, there's Beast and Casey, who were the Labradors that were on there, there's Ethics on there, there's Ezra laying on the floor. There are a few files on my desk, although this is really not indicative of my desk. This looks a whole lot better than my desk.
Much more organized.
And then there's this blue-gray minivan.
Color of the day.
I want you to know, Kathy, that I had to go buy a new car over Christmas. And I bought my 4th Grand Caravan.
And it's blue.
But this one is good blue.
Well, I thought I'd heard rumors that you had bought a new car, but nobody could tell me what color
She
it was,
tried to
so-
get the information, but I didn't.
I want to take a good picture of it for
But
Mama.
that's all basketball players.
Precious.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little guys playing basketball from where we do all our
Girls
coaching
and
and
boys.
everything. Girls and boys.
Oh, they're rectangles.
And you will notice that there's a little red penciling. Because my understanding is that not a person has really gotten loose without being red penciled quite a bit.
Well, I tried to be as helpful as I could.
That is one word.
You outdid yourself.
That's awesome.
I want you to fall over the table, Kathy.
Kathy, I want to get a good picture of it.
Does anybody else
More
want to say
files,
anything?
even more files.
I'm gonna say something. I got asked to say things for the family. So my sister doesn't really like to talk much. My brother's way too funny, so if he talks,
We don't want Bill to talk.
it would just be laughter. So thank you all for coming. I think this is a testament to what Dad has done over the years, the legislature. He's such a kind soul, and he enjoys his work. He loves his work, and he also loves mentoring, which many of you know, I'm sure, personally, and mentoring in all capacities. In fact, I think his work was always deeply tied with his love for coaching basketball, which he still does, and probably will do to your last breath, I think. That's kind of your passion. I know some of you actually have coached with him, and he's been coach for some of your kids, and So that's great. And I was thinking about how do you talk about right a whole career, and kind of summarize that. And I think that I think that's not the way you want to go out, and that's okay. I think that life comes that way, and God gives us things sometimes that are hard, trials. But I think it's also beautiful, what He does with it. And I think of things you've been able to do since not working, like taking care of your grandson. Full disclosure, I have a large benefit in that. That's my son.
Before you go, if I can, just interrupt you for a minute.
Just a minute.
We've been short. We've enjoyed taking care of your grandson. We've been able to keep him overnight a couple times. And we were announcing last week we're going to have another grandchild. The point is, babysitting pays off. If you babysit enough, you'll get another grandchild.
I won't argue with that. But yeah, well, we love you and we're proud of you. I was thinking the other day about how, I think you could have been a trial lawyer and you could have made a lot of money, which sometimes I always wonder, why did he not do that? We used to joke, used to say, well, these other people owe us millions of dollars, even still to this day, that never got paid back, and we could have had more of that too. So, but you followed your passion, and part of your passion was taking care of the people of North Carolina and caring for society. And I know that your mentor, Terry Sanford, was like that too, and that was something that was really important to you. And I think I'm proud of you, and I'm sure like all of our family and all your colleagues too, proud that you saw that through and you went through, and you cared so much about that you took and kept the job that you risked your job, right, to maintain your values. And I think, another question I wonder, why didn't none of us went into politics? And but I do think part of that reason was that I think Mom and Dad always modeled to us a very healthy nonpartisanship, very healthy bipartisanship. And I think the reality for all of us growing up and coming of age was to see a place where that's hard to find, to be honest. And we're in that situation still today. And so I think as someone who cares a lot about that and put that on the line, I'm proud of you for that.
Okay, now say something funny.
I'm
tearing up.
Davin, you gotta share at least one wild story during our Annie Princess Day. At least one. One of the camping experiences we had.
The only thing I can think of.
Story.
Well, banana pancakes. And my most vivid memory is all of us girls on top of a bunk bed at some camp dancing to Spice Girls.
What I should add too, if any of you need advice, like call him. He'd love to talk to you.
If you have an hour of free time. No less than that. It's going to start at an hour.
These guys don't know what you're talking about.
You might want to go home. Might have things to do. Might happen. Might as well go ahead and order pizza and then come in and ask the advice. Just get it delivered.
Never saw a
Not a single one of us has any.
No, I didn't say anything.
Yeah, and I've known him longer than anybody else in this room. That's his
That's
sister.
scary.
Yes, it is. I've gotten that advice for, 60 years. 61. Wow.
And it's still a work in progress. So.
I'm obsessed. It's still a work in progress.
So let's have cake.
All right.
Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
You want to say anything?
Yeah, let's say something real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's be quick, Ed. I really want to thank all of y'all for coming tonight and for doing this. It's been very, very good, very nice. I will have to admit to you that when I got an early retirement, I was sitting down thinking about it. I said, one of the good things about retiring the way I did was that I won't have to have a retirement party. I don't have to make a retirement speech. But unfortunately, Karen and the rest of y'all, didn't make that possible. But I really do appreciate all of that y'all have done here, and I appreciate all the cards and emails and telephone calls that y'all have given me since I've left. working at General Assembly was a great experience. You know, as many of you heard when I would interview or whatever, I would tell you that there was never a day that I came to work where I dreaded coming to work, and that was even true. Even the last day that I was there, I really didn't dread coming to work that day. I dreaded leaving. The next day was the day I dreaded it. And I hope you have that same experience too. The reason for that was the camaraderie, as Karen talks about, of all the people that we had to work with, and y'all make that, and y'all are a great bunch. When I left, I was a little worried, not about myself. I was in good shape. I was worried and not about the General Assembly, because I know the General Assembly is in great hands. Y'all are consummate professionals. You're going to do your job. You're going to do your job as well or better without me. And so I wasn't worried about that, but I was worried for y'all, because I didn't know what my leaving meant for y'all. And I wasn't in a position where I could help you at that point. There wasn't anything else that I could do to help. I was so happy when we saw that Karen was named as the director. That just made my day, because that really relieves a lot of pressure. Some of y'all will remember that when I became director now almost 7 years ago, one of the things we worried about or concerned about was succession planning. We knew we had a lot of folks who were going to be retiring in the research division in the near future, and that we needed to do something about it. And one of the things we tried to do was set up the assistant director position, first with Corey and then with Karen. And that turned out to be really good. I mean, that's the reason, and in part, why Karen is able, in a position to do such a good job as she is right now. Even though she still didn't get a chance to learn everything she really wanted to know or needed to know or wish she had known. And so I want y'all to be patient with her, because for those of y'all that are supervisors, you know they don't teach you in law school how to supervise. Even those people who've been supervisors for a while, they don't really teach you how to be a director. I talked to Terry when he was getting ready to leave the directorship, and I said, "Can you tell me what you do?" And Terry sits there and kind of looks at the ceiling and says, "Not really. He'd been doing it for 34 years. He'd been doing it for 34 years. He did it. He did his cycles. And, you know, everything worked perfectly. But he couldn't sit down and lay it out for you. It doesn't matter what you do." So be patient with her. She's going to make the best decision she can. My goal was always to make sure that my decisions were 50-50. They were at least 50% right. You know? If they went below 50%, then I wasn't batting very good. You know? If I could get 1 out of every 2 decisions right, then I felt like I was doing good. Looking at retirement, as I did with several people in our offices that were leaving, you talk to them about what they thought about their legacy. One of the things about thinking about retirement is, do you really want to quit? You know, do you want to let go? Do you want to give up what you've got? And you start thinking about it. And what I would talk to them about is that what we put in those green books is not going to reflect, really, I mean, it reflects the work you did, but nobody's going to know looking at the green book what you did. What they're really going to reflect on, I think, and what I think their legacy is, and what I try to convince them, was the people that they left behind, the people that they trained to succeed in that position. And so I feel very good that my legacy is well taken care of with y'all, because y'all are a great bunch. And like I said, the General Assembly is going to be in really good hands. Just one piece of advice or thoughts that I would give you, and this is something that Terry told us. Some of y'all who were there when Terry announced his retirement over 8 years ago, basically reminded us that we were the central nonpartisan staff, and as such, we were the institutional knowledge for the General Assembly. The legislators came and go, the partisan staff, policy staff comes and goes. But the central staff are the ones who understand and know the importance of the General Assembly as an equal branch of government. And that it's part of our duties and responsibilities to make sure that legislators continue to be made aware of that. And even though it may be politically expedient for them to take steps that would actually weaken the institution, that's really important not only for them and for future legislatures, but also for the state of North Carolina, that the legislature maintain its role as a very strong branch of the government. And so that burden falls on y'all. And so I know that y'all will do the best you can with that, with what you've got to work with, but just wanted to mention that too. Last thing just to say to you is that I'm happy, as Wynn suggested, and I'll keep it as short as you want to, give you any advice I can, whether it be personal or professional. Some of you that I've talked to when you were talking about and thinking about making career choices would come in and talk to me and say, well, what should I do? And I said, well, I'm going to put on my director's hat. And as the director, you ought to do this, this, and this. You know, this is what's good for you. This is what's good for the General Assembly. You know, but I'm also put on my daddy's hat. You know, and if you were my child, this is what I would tell you to do. Well, I'm not the director anymore. I don't have to worry about that. be your daddy now. So anybody wants to send daddy advice, just do that. But thank you so much. This is a wonderful gift. I really appreciate that. I appreciate all of y'all.
Everybody, please have some cake.